my name is Mweemba. I am firstly the EDI project lead at ANC. I engage in a lot of community activism, anti-racism work, and just community building, specifically within the Black community per se. I would say first off, when I started this work, I had no experience, and I was not, even in high school for the longest time, I was never like the political aspiring guy. I was just really just a kid, just who just want to get through it. So, but I noticed that there was no space for me or folk in my position, so we had to start, and that started within the Black student space, engaging with the MUNL Senate, engaging with Students' Union, and fortunately enough, the Black Caucus for Canadian Federation of Students really gave me that EDI experience, and just advocating for Black students on that position was a big piece of that, but then also doing it not just for Black students, but for all students, and expanding from there. Some of the Human Rights Commission work I've mentioned before, that was also a great foundation. So engaging with spaces like that, not just at the student level, but the community level, is really a big pill in EDI. And also understanding the dynamics of like how it works in an institution, because sometimes we, like myself, I really engage in student work, and the real world is always not going to be like university. So understanding that, you know, it's going to look different in these spaces. So getting into those spaces and engaging with folk like that was probably the biggest foundation of the stuff I do, and led me here. I would say something that was really made my I guess heart warm was the surprising openness of folk to really understand that there needs to be work done. You know, sometimes for a long time it was very much so, hey, we have problems in the community, even though, you know, we may not, I will say, well, from my experience, you know, you're not necessarily going to be chased down by cops and that kind of thing. That's not a problem you're not going to see here. So when you say, hey, racism is in Newfoundland, people are just kind of, yeah, whatever, it's not. It's like a thing out in Minnesota or like, you know, New York. That's not a problem you're going to see here. But then now people are saying, hey, you know, it's not looking like that. There's still stuff that goes on in Newfoundland. People recognizing that was the first step. And I think that was something that really made me happy. And, you know, seeing even within MUNL, like people starting to take courses such as, you know, Black history courses, and they now offering stuff like that. Because when I started MUNL, no such thing. And recognizing that. So for me personally, just seeing people recognize that this is a thing, and not just that, giving their time, giving spaces. You know, I think, I'm not sure you've talked to her, but Nicole, the previous Black Student Association president, worked with her quite a bit, you know, starting the Black vendors market, something that's, you know, really got a lot of success. And like I said, just having the platform to do that, and having people willing to do that is just really amazing. That's probably my favorite thing about seeing the evolution here. Something I think would have done myself a lot of good in the past is having something for more so the younger folk. And I'm very grateful for the opportunities I've had, very grateful for the opportunities that I've seen other people have, but this stuff can't just happen when you get to MUNL or when you become out. You have to really integrate the youth into it, because respectfully, even though, you know, I've managed to make the change, you know, that opportunity is not there for everyone. So understanding that the kid who's 12 in in junior high is experiencing some of these problems, and helping and making spaces for those kids is very important. You know, you don't want to have to reinvent the wheel every single time you change school or change career path. You know, we need to have this, I think, seamless approach in which we integrate mentorship, you know, leadership for the kids, I think, in the Black community within these younger demographics. So that's something I really think I'd love to see, and I think would yield a lot of benefit for the future. I hope, because my undergrad was in political science and law studies, so I think hopefully integrating the Black community into like the legal sector here would be really huge. I would really want to see a Black presence in the legal community here. That's something that has not been tapped into, and I think considering a lot of people coming into here, I think that'd be quite a good resource for a lot of Black folk to have, especially, you know, in Newfoundland. And I think most of the Atlantic provinces are probably experiencing the same thing. So hopefully Newfoundland can be the catalyst in that. So hopefully one day that'd be kind of interesting to see. I would definitely say establishing a space for Black students at Memorial. most people probably don't know this about me, but I've been in Newfoundland for I think 12 years now. So I didn't have that space, and I started off in Conception Bay North, so a very, very, small black population. I think I was the only black kid for probably the first 5 years. So I didn't have that interaction with black folk until I got to St. John's. And even when I got to St. John's, I noticed that the spaces weren't developed. There was no real organized space. It was kind of just informal. So putting a space on campus for folks to really get together and understand, we have community here is probably my biggest contribution. And they're doing fantastic stuff, even though I'm not even a student anymore. So I would say that.